Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is January 31st, 2014. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's jump right into the charts. There's a lot going on today. Taking a look here first at the S&P 500 E-mini futures, what you'll see here is that the futures are trading lower by 17.5 points to 1763 and 3/4 per contract. If you just fast forward over to a daily chart of the futures, you'll see that they are now breaking through the most recent lows. This is a Friday. Generally on a Friday, we normally look for a flat to slightly positive trading day. However, last Friday the markets were down, and I don't think we could take this Friday for granted. After all, who would want to hold over the weekend when you have this type of market? Now, you're going to hear a lot of chatter about the Turkish Lira. You're going to hear a lot of chatter about the South African Rand. But the real currency that is moving the markets, bottom line, is the dollar yen. When the dollar yen moves lower, the stock markets move higher. When the dollar yen moves lower, the stock markets move lower. Gold will move higher. Just take a look at this relationship on a daily chart. Look at this. It looks just like the S&P 500. Take a look here. If you take a look and flip over to the S&P 500 futures, it's the same exact chart pattern. The same exact up days and down days. Notice the pattern here, up, down, up, down. Let's go back to dollar yen. You'll see the same exact thing, up, down, up, down. So dollar yen moves lower, the market moves lower. That's the bottom line. If the Japanese yen strengthens against the major currencies, especially the US dollar index, it is problematic for the global market because this is where the leveraged money is being put to use. So you have the big hedge funds, the big institutions, they're betting on a weaker Japanese yen. When this chart goes lower, that means the Japanese yen is going higher, and that is problematic across the board for the world economies. If we take a look at the Asian markets today, last night I should say, they were all pretty much lower. The Nikkei 225 index was down about 0.6%, but it really tumbled off the highs. Shanghai Composite finished basically at the lows, down about 0.8%. You did have, I believe, India finished flat, so we're not going to make too much out of it there. But the bottom line is that these markets are definitely under some major problems here, and we're going to continue to watch volatile markets going forward. Looking at the, when I talk about the Shanghai Composite, a lot of people are just writing off China as it's not a big deal, but the Chinese market is huge. It's the world's second largest economy. They're also, they were closed last night for holiday, but it's just not a pretty picture to see that market tumble the way it has ahead of a long holiday, and they're going into the Lunar New Year. By the way, the Shanghai was closed last night. Looking at the markets as a whole, there are a lot of stocks out here that we can look at. We're going to start off with Amazon. Amazon was the big one last night that missed earnings. If I take a look at a 10-minute chart, you're going to see that the stock really has gotten hit pretty sharply. Stock is trading at $368 a share at the moment. It closed at $403 yesterday. So any way you slice it or dice it, we're looking at basically a 9%, 8.5% decline in Amazon stock this morning. I will have gap levels for Amazon. For those of you that want to trade the gaps on Amazon this morning, come over to the chat room. They'll be posted up around 9 a.m. Let's take a look at Google. That was the other behemoth that reported earnings. Google had a positive reaction so far. Stock closed at 1136 yesterday, 1135. It's trading right now at 1178. So Google's holding up pretty well. I don't know if there's a ton of upside left in Google. I really think this equity could stall out around 1180 to 1190, somewhere in that vicinity. But it is a big stock. Looks like Google may looks like they will want to, or they have been talking about possibly doing a stock split, so we'll see if that does happen. But right now, Google is holding up pretty well, and that's actually helping the markets out a little bit. There are a lot of other stocks out here. We're going to take a look at Mattel. Mattel came out with earnings this morning. I'll have a gap level for this one. Stock is getting creamed. It closed at 43.01, now trading at 38.60. So Mattel definitely on the hot list here today. That will be a morning gap play, and again, I'll have that level posted at 9 o'clock in the intraday stock chat room. Looking at a few other names here, I want to take a look at Chipotle Mexican Grill. Chipotle had a really nice bid. You could see the big spike yesterday at 4 o'clock after they reported earnings, and it's holding all of the gains so far. I have to think Chipotle on the daily chart is probably at some resistance around 550. So it's very hard to think that it's going to go much higher than this today. So I'd be careful with Chipotle now. I would not short it. I would not fade it. It's a strong gap up. I wouldn't do anything really with Chipotle, but I would not be a buyer up here. You would need to see some consolidation on a daily chart before you could even attempt to own Chipotle up here at these levels. But great move for the stock, and the restaurant continues to outperform. Let's take a look at Wynn Resorts. I believe they had earnings as well yesterday. Stock is trading at 206. It closed at 201. So that's up a little bit. I don't know if there's a lot of upside in Wynn here, so be very careful with this equity right now. It's trading higher, so that's the positive for the stock, but I don't see a play in on the stock at the moment. We're going to take a look at MCK, MCK, which is, I believe, good old McKesson. This is trading at 175 and a quarter, closed at 177.23. I don't have a great level at the moment, but if this stock got down to around 161, that would be a level where you could trade this stock. So again, I know that's far off, but yesterday Whirlpool was far off, and it almost got down to my level. So again, in markets like this, don't worry if it seems like a level is far away. These levels can get tagged on days like today, so you want to watch that pretty closely. Let's take a look at Broadcom. I believe they had earnings as well. Broadcom now trading at 29.32. It closed at 29.21. You could see the big spike yesterday after the closing bell, but now it has come back down to earth. Broadcom will have a little minor support around 27.90 if it does get down there. On a day like today, I think it can get down there. If that level fails to hold, you have to look all the way down towards $25 for the next support level. So $27.90, if you're aggressive, there could be a quick scalp play there, but you don't want to risk too much because that level, if it does fail, the next level is a lot lower. So that's what we're looking at here on the stock front. There are a lot more stocks out here that have reported earnings. So again, you want to watch these pretty closely, but we'll have several gap plays up this morning at 9 a.m. Let's take a look at gold this morning. Gold is catching a nice bid. Gold is up about $10 on the session to around $12.53 an ounce. Let's take a look at the all-important GLD. That's trading at $1.2084. So yesterday GLD closed at 119.77. Good little rebound. I still think the GLD has a lot of resistance at 122.50. But if it could get through there, maybe it starts to move. Right now, I'm not sure it's going to just break right through that level. But either way, good morning pop for gold at the moment. Let's take a look at light sweet crude. Light sweet crude is trading lower by 81 cents. So that's a decent dip. That's now at $97.43 a barrel. Let's go to the USO, which is a good proxy for light sweet crude. Right now, this is trading at $34.76. It did close at $34.95. So a little dip there. I wouldn't be surprised to see oil chop around. Basically, it's going to somewhat stay in a range, but ultimately I do have a slightly higher price for oil over the next couple weeks, but we'll see where this goes today, and we'll see how this market winds up. Right now, the futures, S&P 500 E-mini futures, are down 17 points before the opening bell. So this is an ugly start. I believe Dow futures will be down over 200 points when the opening bell rings. So be prepared. Put your chin strap on and get ready. This is going to be some rough turbulence today, but there could be some good money-making opportunities on some scalping, and this is why everybody should know how to trade intraday as well as swing trade and invest. With that said, everybody, I want to wish you all a great trading day, and we'll see you on the charts. Take care now.